Aloha and welcome to Vinyasa Flow Yoga. My name is Katie and this here is Bradley. And today we have a 60-minute class today where we will be working on opening up through the low back. So we'll be adding in some twists, and we'll also be doing some poses that may help alleviate pain like sciatica pain through the sides of your hips. So let's get started on our backs. Today all you'll need is your mat, so go ahead and roll that out if you haven't already. But meet me lying down on your back with just your toes pointing out, palms face up by your sides, close your eyes. So we are in our Savasana Pose at the beginning of class, and just let your spine press down and towards the mat. You can have a slight bend in your knees if that helps with the low back to just relax as you lay here on the earth. And just close the eyes. Allow yourself to become centered here on the mat. So to do that, just become an observer of your own body in this moment. Begin to feel the earth beneath your spine. The backs of your hands just pressing down as your palms face up, allowing your shoulders to kind of open up a little bit more. You can even shimmy your shoulders towards one another to feel that openness through the heart as you lay here. Just allowing the body to melt in towards the earth. And take a moment here to dive a little bit deeper in towards your mind space. So just notice what kind of thoughts are running through the mind. And as you observe them, pick them out one by one and just leave them at the door. Let this 60 minutes be about connecting with your breath, flowing, moving, nurturing your body, and generating a sense of peace and calm. So let's begin our breath. Take your palms to face down on your belly. And as you inhale, feel your belly rise with your breath. As you exhale, let that breath completely go through the nose. So we're just going to continue to breathe in and out through the nose. Big inhale. Let your belly expand. And exhale, let your belly retract. Imagine that breath traveling all the way down to the base of your belly. Fill your belly like a balloon. And then let that exhale completely go. Belly retracts back towards your spine, smooth as it came in. And begin to create that gentle constriction in the back of the throat as you inhale in, creating that oceanic sound. Let your breath flow in through the nose evenly and let it release evenly out through the nose. Continue this pattern at your own pace. So in your own time, let your breath lengthen, let it broaden, let it deepen. Let your exhales equal those inhales in depth. Notice the quality of your breath. Notice the sound. Notice the peace it creates within the body as we slowly shift into that parasympathetic state. Switching off that fight or flight. Creating a sense of calm. A few more breaths here. As you are breathing here, maybe set an intention for your practice. A focal point to come back to. A dedication to someone or something, maybe other than yourself. Or maybe it's why you're on the mat today. One more big breath in this Shavasana. And let that breath go. Now release your hands from your belly. Begin to take your knees one at a time towards your heart center. Feel your low back press in towards the earth. Take your hands around your shins, forearms around the shins, and just sway side to side. Begin to massage the low back. You can even circle the knees, draw circles on the ceiling, clockwise and then counterclockwise, circle around, massage through the back. Good, and then take your arms out like a T on either side, palms face up. Just let your knees gently drop to the left as you gaze to the right. Twist your spine gently. Keep those shoulders down on the earth. Feel that initial twist, decompress your spine. Big inhale in. Let your exhale draw you deeper. Good, inhale, use your core. Lift your belly and lift your legs back up through center. And then take those knees over to the right and just let them drop over as you gaze to the left. Keep those shoulders down on the earth. Deep breath into your belly so you really feel that decompression through the spine. Good. Next, inhale, use your core. Lift those knees back up through center. And then we want to take our hands underneath our knees. Let's just begin to rock forward and back. Massage the spine. Take another round. Use your momentum to come all the way up. Soles of the feet together, knees apart, and we'll come into our butterfly pose. So scoot your hips as close as you would like to your heels. Take your hands to interlace around your feet. Roll your shoulders down and away, lift through your heart. Feel this initial opening through the inner thigh and the lower spine. Now as you inhale, press your heart forward. And as you exhale, hinge forward. So you're pressing your heart towards your toes. Elbows begin to bow out towards the sides. Now as you lean forward, just find that sweet spot where you feel this stretch through the lumbar spine. Let your hips ground down, let your knees open out, melt through the inner thigh. Deep breath in here, keep reaching your heart towards your toes. Deep breath out. Good, inhale, rise back up. Now we're gonna take our feet a little bit further forward and our hips back, so we create more of a diamond shape through the legs. We're coming into Tortoise Pose. So palms will face up and slide those palms right underneath your ankles. So the backs of your hands are touching the ground. Now begin to do the opposite with the chest. So we just had our heart forward. This time, curl in, tuck your chin, and bend your elbows. So this time you'll really feel it lengthen through the spine. Tuck your chin in so that you really feel the back of the neck elongate all the way down into the tailbone. Feel that nice stretch through the hips. Deep breath in and deep breath out. Let's take one more breath here. Inhale in and exhale out. Beautiful. Slowly take your time. Slide your hands out from underneath. Now take your hands behind you. Cross your ankles. Shift forward over your knees. And we're going to come into a child's pose with the knees out as wide as your mat, toes together. Stretch your arms long out in front of you and just rest the point between your eyebrows down on the earth as those shoulders melt down. Press your hips back. Feel the low back decompress here. Big breath in as you stretch those arms forward. Create length through the arms. Good. On your next inhale, lift up onto your finger pads. So you kind of create spiders with your hands. Let's inhale and walk your hands over to the right. So just crawl them all the way. You'll come off the mat a little bit. Relax your head and neck. Feel that length through the left side waist. All the way down in towards that left hip. Good. Now let's inhale back through center. Reach out long. And let's come to the opposite side. Just crawl those hands over to the left. Come off the mat slightly. Press your right hip back. And those shoulders stay in line with one another. So your right shoulder will drop down slightly so that the shoulders stay square. You'll feel a stretch all the way down into that right hip. Nice. Now let's inhale. Come back through center. Reach out long. And exhale just one more time into our child's pose. Relax your head and neck. Next inhale, come on to your hands and knees, tabletop position. So let your shoulder come right over your wrists, your hips over your knees, gaze down between your thumbs. Let's take a few circles through each hip. So hug your right knee towards your chest. Open your right knee out to the right and back around. Hug your right knee towards your chest. Open to the right and back around. One more time. Hug deep in towards your belly. Open your right knee out and back around. Lower your right knee down and let's switch sides. Take those 3 big circles. Hug your left knee towards your chest. Open your left knee out to the left. Back and up and towards your chest. Open out to the left. Back and around. One more time. Hug it in. Open out. Back and back down. Take that left knee back underneath your hip. Good. Ground down through those palms. Take an inhale. Cow pose. Shoulders back, tailbone high. Look up to the sky. Exhale, curl back up and in. Tuck your chin. Arch your spine like a Halloween cat. Good. Inhale, shoulders back, tailbone high. Look up. Exhale, curl back up and in. Cat pose. Undulate through the spine. Big breath. Shoulders back, tailbone high. Look up. Exhale, curl back up and in. Tuck your chin. Arch. Let's do that 2 more times. Open the heart. Lift through the chest. Exhale, curl in. Use your breath 1 more time. Inhale, open. Tailbone high. Exhale, curl in, tuck in. Nice job. Let's come back through a neutral spine. Ground down through those hands. Spread your fingers wide. Tuck your toes behind you. Press your hips back towards your heels. Pause here for a moment and just feel that nice stretch through the arches of your feet. Let your shoulders lock down and away from the ears. Gaze forward. Inhale. Now as you exhale, begin to lift your hips up towards the sky. Come into your first downward facing dog. Now as you're here, pedal through your feet side to side. Let the chest open towards your thighs. Find whatever movement you need here to kind of roll over the toes, work into the joints. Just know that in your first downward dog, things might crackle and pop. They might feel stiff. That's why we're here, to open those things up. Bring more blood flow in towards those joints and in towards your body. Good. And once you do settle into your downward dog, hands or shoulders width, feet or hips width, lift those hips up towards the sky. Big breath in. Now as you exhale, just drop your heels to the right. So you point your toes to the left and you dip your hips down towards the earth just a little bit. Good. Inhale back through center. Shift those heels to the opposite side. So heels to the left, toes to the right. Dip your hip just a little bit. Good. Inhale back through center. Let's do that 1 more time each side. So heels to the right, hips dip. Heels to the left, hips dip. Good. Come back through center. Lift those hips high. Big breath in. Now as you exhale, bend your knees. Look to the top of your mat and just begin to tiptoe all the way up until your feet come between your wrists. Inhale, lengthen halfway up, lift flat spine. Now as you exhale, take your feet together, tuck and curl, lift through your heels, come up onto the balls of your feet, tuck your chin towards your chest, and just curl in like a little ball. Good. Inhale, lengthen halfway up, lift fingertips, graze your shins. Now as you exhale, bend your knees a lot. Grab a hold of opposite elbows, ragdoll arms, relax your head and neck in that little window that you've created with your arms. Maybe you even sway side to side here if that feels good. Just get some length through your spine, through the backs of the legs, all the way down in towards those ankles and feet. Good. So the more your knees are bent, the better it is for that low back. You're allowing the low back to decompress more when the knees are bent. Deep breath here. And deep breath out.
Good. Now let's release those hands to the earth. Tuck your chin towards your chest. Bend your knees even more. And begin to unravel your spine. We'll come all the way up to standing, but take your time. Let each vertebrae stack upon the next. Let your shoulders shrug up towards your ears and open down your back, palms forward. Inhale, let's reach our arms up towards the sky. Create length. Now as you exhale, twist to the right. Take your right arm, reach it back, roll your right shoulder back, press your hips forward. So you want your hips square towards the front of the room. Inhale, reach both arms up to the sky, lengthen. Exhale, left twist. Reach that left arm back, roll that left shoulder back, twist to the left. Again, keep your hips forward while your left shoulder rolls back. Good. Inhale, reach both arms up to the sky. As you exhale, baby back bend. Bend those elbows, lift through your heart, squeeze your shoulder blades together, puff up through the heart space towards the sky. Inhale, reach your arms high. Now as you exhale, soften your knees, arms out, swan dive forward. Relax your head and neck in your forward fold. Inhale, lengthen halfway up, lift flat spine, shoulders back. Exhale, plant your palms, step your feet back, high plank pose. Engage your core, let your hips stay in line with your shoulders. Big breath in, pull the belly in. Now as you exhale, let's take our knees down to the mat. Walk your hands forward, melt your heart out in front. Puppy dog pose. So let your shoulders roll back, tilt your tailbone high, gaze forward. And then inhale, come onto your forearms, slide your knees back, pull your heart through, Sphinx pose. Create some traction through your forearms so you're lifting up through your heart, and it's just a gentle back bend. Good. Lower your chest down. Let's tint our hands to the outside of the mat and begin to circle your shoulders outside to side. So oftentimes we need to free up the thoracic spine before we can even think about opening up the lumbar spine. So you'll notice as you open the shoulders, a lot of times you get a lot of relief through the low back as well. So let yourself have some freedom of movement here. Notice, does it feel good to stay low? Does it feel a little better to come up higher, maybe with a twist? Let this movement be your unique movement, but let the motions be circular in nature. That allows synovial fluid to come back into the joints. It's healing. You can even work into the head and neck, side to side. You can even bend a knee, get into your quads. Nice job, everybody. Let's come back through center. Take your hands by your sides, palms down, shoulders back, elbows point back. Take an inhale, lift your heart gently. So you're just engaging your spine enough to lift your chest. Your palms aren't even pressing down. You could be lifting your hands up and your spine stays exactly the same in this baby cobra. Take one more breath. Now as you exhale, tuck your toes, press your hips back towards your heels. And then lift your hips towards the sky for your downward facing dog. Full breath here. And exhale, bend your knees, look to the top of your mat, step your feet all the way up until they come between your wrists. Inhale, lengthen halfway up, lift. Exhale, tuck and curl, hands to the earth, lift your heels, come up onto the balls of your feet, tuck your chin in. Inhale, lengthen halfway up, lift, flat spine. Exhale, forward fold, relax your head and neck, bend your knees deeply, tuck your chin. Let's unravel each vertebrae at a time. Let your shoulders slump forward until eventually they shrug up towards your ears. And open down your back. Expand through your heart. Inhale, reach your arms up towards the sky. And exhale, twist to the right. Roll your right shoulder back, open to the right. Inhale, reach both arms high. Exhale, twist to the left. Inhale, both arms high. Exhale, bend your elbows, drop your head back, lift your heart, look up. Inhale, rise up, reach up. Exhale, hinge and bow forward, soften those knees, forward fold. Inhale, lengthen just halfway, flat spine. Exhale, plant your palms, step your feet back. High plank pose. Big breath in, engage your core. And then exhale, lower your knees until they're right underneath your hips. Walk your hands forward, Anahatanasana, puppy dog pose. Melt your heart down, shoulders roll back, gaze forward. Inhale, shift onto those forearms. Slide your knees back, pull your heart through. Sphinx pose. Exhale, free flowing cobra, hands tent to the outside of your mat. Roll your shoulders side to side with your inhale breath. Take a little bit more time here. Lengthen through sides of the neck. Good, let's come back through center. Hands right under the shoulders. Peel those shoulders back. Inhale, baby cobra. Exhale, tuck your toes. Downward facing dog. Hips high to the sky. Big breath in. And big breath out. Inhale, gaze to the top of your mat. Exhale, bend your knees. Step those feet all the way up. Inhale, lengthen halfway up, lift. Exhale, tuck and curl. Forehead towards your knees. Heels lift high. Now listen, this time as you inhale, just lift up through your heart. Walk your hands over to the right. So you're taking a twist here. So your left elbow will come to the outside of your right knee. Your tricep will hook on the outside of that right knee. So you're really just feeling that length through the left side waist. Deep breath in. And deep breath out. Good. Inhale, walk your hands back through center. And exhale, opposite side. So you just want to walk your hands over to the left. Take your right tricep to the outside of your left knee. So your hands will be in line with one another. Your knees face forward. So you should feel nice length through this right side of your waist. Deep breath. Good. Inhale, back through center. Hands out in front. Exhale, lengthen your legs, forward folds. Inhale, lengthen halfway up, lift. Exhale, bend your knees, tuck your chin, begin to unravel your spine, come all the way up to standing. Let your shoulders shrug out towards your ears and open down your back. Inhale, reach your arms up towards the sky, look up, lengthen. Exhale, twist to the right. Inhale, rise through center. Exhale, twist to the left, roll that left shoulder back. Inhale, rise through center. Exhale, bend your elbows, drop your head back. Inhale, arms to the sky, mountain pose. Exhale, soften your knees, forward fold. Inhale, lengthen halfway up, lift. Exhale, plant your palms, step your feet back, high plank pose. Hips in line with those shoulders, big breath in. Exhale, the knees lower. Walk your hands forward. Anahatanasana, puppy dog pose, gaze forward. Inhale onto your forearms, slide your knees back, pull your heart through, Sphinx pose. Lower your chest, take an inhale for free flowing cobra. Roll those shoulders side to side. Good. Let's come back through center. Hands right under the shoulders. Roll your shoulders back. Inhale, baby cobra. Exhale, tuck your toes. Hips to your heels. And hips to the sky. Downward facing dog. Full breath in. And full breath out. Bend your knees, lift to the top of your mat. Step or even lightly hop all the way up. Inhale, lengthen halfway up, lift. Exhale, this time bend your knees a lot. Take your left hand down, tent your left fingers. Lengthen your right leg as you reach your right arm up towards the sky. Roll your right shoulder back. So you want to twist to the right as you open your right shoulder back. Good, so you should get a big spiral through the spine. You'll feel a nice stretch through that right IT band, through the hamstring. Roll that right shoulder back, look up towards the sky. You can even tuck your right arm behind your back to get a little bit more through the shoulders. Yogi's choice, deep breath.
If I take you down, would you really hold me down and be your best?
One more.
She just wanna hear me.
Inhale, reach your right arm high.
I'm like, yes,
Exhale, bend both knees, swap sides. So just take your right hand to tent, left arm to the sky as you lengthen your left leg, roll your left shoulder back. Your right knee is deeply bent so that you can twist open, press your hips back evenly. Feel that left shoulder roll back, stack through the shoulders. Deep inhale in. You can even take that left arm behind to tuck around the front of your right hip to get more through the shoulders. Try to look towards the sky. One more breath in. Let your exhale breath get you deeper. Inhale, left arm back to the sky. If it's not already, let that left hand come back down to the earth. Bend both knees. Inhale, lengthen halfway up, lift. This time as you exhale, just plant your palms, step your feet back, high plank pose. Big breath in. And exhale, knees to the mat. Walk your hands forward. Open your heart towards the ground. Shoulders roll down and away. Look forward. Inhale onto your forearms. Slide your knees back. Pull your heart through. Sphinx pose. Exhale, lower your chest. Inhale, free-flowing cobra. Shoulders rock side to side. Circle it out. Good, back through center, hands under the shoulders. Inhale, lift through your heart, point your elbows back, baby cobra. Exhale, tuck your toes, hips to heels. Lift your hips to the sky. Downward dog. Inhale, right leg high. Bend your right knee, stack your hips open. Pause here as you reach that right knee high, square your shoulders out. So we're gonna take 3 big hip circles. Hug your right knee towards your chest. Open to the right and around. 2 more times, hug in. Open out and around. 1 more time, hug in. Open out and around, big breath in. And exhale, hug your right knee towards your chest. Place your right foot to the top of your mat. Lower your back knee down gently. Tuck your tailbone slightly in as you inhale. Reach your arms up to the sky into your low lunge. So there's a slight tuck of your tailbone down towards the mat as you lift up through the low belly. That way you feel the left psoas lengthen out and decompress through the lower spine. So be sure that you have that gentle tuck through the low belly. Reach your arms up, inhale. As you exhale, open your arms out like wings. Let your shoulders draw down and away from your ears. Lift through your heart. And then begin to hinge forward. Take your hands down to the mat. Press your hips back. Lengthen your right leg as you flex your right foot. Inhale, lift through your heart. Keep your left hand down. Exhale, right arm to the sky. Roll your right shoulder back. Twist to the right. Drop that right hip down so you really feel it through that right IT band. Stay for this inhale. Let your exhale lower your right hand down. Shift forward, inhale, tuck your back toes. Just send your right leg all the way back up to the sky through 3-legged dog. Reach it up high. And lower your right foot down to meet the left. Let's switch sides. Inhale that left leg high to the sky. Bend your left knee, stack open. So let's take those 3 hip circles. Hug your left knee in. Open to the left. And around 2 more times. Hug in. Open. And around. 1 more. Hug it in. Open out. Big circle. And reach it up high. Big breath. Reach that left knee. And then as you exhale, hug your left knee towards your chest. Place your left foot to the top of your mat. Lower your right knee down. Inhale into your low lunge. So your hips are facing forward. There's a slight tuck of your tailbone. So you should feel right in that right psoas, and then a nice length through the low back. So tuck your tailbone in. Make sure that you keep that tilt of the tailbone down. Ground into that left foot as those arms rise high. You should feel a nice stretch through the front of that right hip. Big breath in. Now as you exhale, let's open our arms like wings. Let the shoulders draw down the back. Lift just through the sternum. Begin to hinge forward. Lengthen your left leg. Flex your left foot. Take your hands down towards the earth in a half split. Take an inhale to lengthen. Right hand stays down. On your exhale breath, left arm to the sky. Twist to the left. Roll that left shoulder back. So you really want to drop that left hip down. You should feel a deep stretch in that left IT band. Big breath in. And let this exhale take your left hand down. Inhale, shift into your low lunge, tuck your right toes. Send your left foot all the way up to the sky, three-legged dog. Exhale, lower left foot down to meet the right. Big breath in. And big breath out. Bend your knees, look to the top of your mat. Step, or even lightly hop. Inhale, lengthen halfway up, lift flat spine. Exhale, forward fold, soften your knees. Bend your knees even deeper. Inhale, chair pose. Biceps by your ears. Relax your shoulders down your back. Sink weight in towards those heels. Inhale, lift through your heart. Now as you exhale, take your hands down to the earth, hips high, forward fold. Relax your head and neck. Inhale, lengthen halfway up, lift. Exhale, plant your palms, step your feet back, high plank pose. Big breath in. Now as you exhale, we're going to lower through chaturanga. So keep those elbows pointing back as you lower halfway down. Use your core, squeeze those elbows in. And then inhale, lift your heart for upward facing dog, long arms. Thighs are lifted, tops of the feet root. Exhale, roll back through your toes, use your core, lift your hips towards the sky. Downward facing dog. Full breath in. Full breath out. Inhale, reach your right leg high, bend your right knee, stack your hips open. Now let's take just one hip circle. Hug your right knee in, open to the right and around. Hug your right knee towards your chest, place your right foot to the top of your mat, this time high lunge. Inhale, reach your arms high, crescent pose. Good. As you exhale, open your arms like wings, let your shoulders draw down your back. And then begin to hinge forward, lengthen your right leg, take your hands down towards the earth, tense your hands, lengthen that right leg. Lift up through your heart, and then begin to take your right arm to the sky, roll your right shoulder back. So you're in a modified pyramid twist. Roll your right shoulder back, big breath. Exhale, lower your right hand down, shift forward. Right leg rises all the way up to the sky, reach it high. And then exhale, lower it down to meet the left foot. Inhale, left leg to the sky, reach it high, bend that left knee. Let's take one big hip circle, hug it in, open it out, and around. Take that left knee back towards your chest. Place the left foot to the top of the mat. Inhale, rise, crescent pose. Good, as you exhale, open your arms like wings, let your shoulders draw down your back. Begin to hinge forward. Hands down by the earth, and lengthen that left leg. Inhale, lengthen halfway, keep your right hand down. Left arm to the sky, roll that left shoulder back, twist to the left. Good. Lower your left hand down, bend your left knee. Send your left leg all the way back up to the sky, three-legged dog, reach it high. And exhale, downward facing dog. Full breath in. And full breath out. Bend your knees. Take your feet to the outsides of your hands, to the top of your mat. Turn your toes out and your heels in. And just begin to lower your hips between your heels. Take your hands to heart center for our Malasana squats. So we're gonna pause here for about 5 breaths, 5 yogi breaths. So get comfortable, whatever that means for you. Maybe you have to widen those feet to get those heels down. Maybe you even take a blanket under the heels to give you a little bit more support. Wherever you are, let your elbows press your knees away as your heart lifts up, shoulders back. Let your hips dip low as you reach through the crown of your head. This is a really big opener through the lower lumbar spine. Inner hip and the heart. Close your eyes. Come back to your intention. Deep breath here. One more big full breath. Stay with it. Good. After that exhale, take your hands down to the earth. Begin to turn your toes in and your heels out. Take an inhale to lengthen halfway up. Now as you exhale, soften your knees, grab a hold of opposite elbows, ragdoll arms, and just let yourself sway side to side. Crown of your head will melt towards the earth. Feel length through the spine, through the hips. One more big breath here in this nice counter pose. Good, and then release your hands down. Inhale, lengthen halfway up. Let's keep our left hand tented underneath the face. Inhale, lengthen your heart, and as you exhale, reach your right arm to the sky, roll your right shoulder back. So you're in a wide-legged forward fold twist. Roll that right shoulder back, look up to your right thumb. You can even take your right arm to tuck behind your back or on the front of your left hip if you want a little bit more in the shoulders. Let your right shoulder roll back. Keep your hips evenly pressing back. So sometimes one hip likes to kind of jut out to the side. Bring it back in line. You can use your own hand to do that too. You'll feel the stretch more. Good. Inhale your right arm back to the sky. Lower your right hand down, soften both knees. Right hand tense. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, open to the left. Roll that left shoulder back. Stack those shoulders. Press your hips evenly back behind you. And you can even take that left hand behind you to hook around the front of your right hip. Roll your left shoulder back. And again, make sure those hips stay evenly pressing back. So sometimes one will just dip to the side. Take them in line with one another. Make them even. Roll your left shoulder back. Feel that nice twist through the low back. Good. Left arm will rise back up to the sky. If it's not already, lower that left hand down to the earth. Inhale, lengthen halfway up. And exhale, plant your palms, step your feet back. Downward facing dog. Full breath in. And full breath out. Let's inhale our right leg to the sky. Bend your right knee, stack your hips open. Exhale, one big hip circle, hug it in. Open out and around. Hug your right knee towards your chest. Place your right foot to the top of your mat. Back heel spins down. Warrior two. Inhale, open out. Bend deep into your front knee. Big breath in. And sink in. Good. Turn your right palm up to the sky. Inhale, reach up and back. Reverse your warrior. Lengthen through that right side. And inhale back through center. Exhale, lengthen your right leg. Reach your right arm forward. Take your right hand down to your shin, left arm to the sky. Roll that left shoulder back. Twist open. Let your spine be long here. Feel your back heel grounded down in this triangle pose. Stack your shoulders, stack your hips. Take another big breath in here. Now as you exhale, take your left hand to swoop down towards the earth, spin onto your back toes, lower your back knee down. Heel toe your right foot out to the right. So it comes about to the outer edge of your right side of your mat, hands right underneath your shoulders. Your right knee will open out to the right, shoulders peel back, lengthen through your heart. Now as you exhale, you have a few options here. You can come down onto your forearms, or you can take your right hand to the inside of your right knee and just press your right leg away as you dip your left hip down. You can even come so far as to spinning onto that left hip and press the right knee away. Listen to your body, see what feels right for you. Notice where you feel the most benefit. You should feel it within your right hip and a little bit into that left hip and quad as well. And if you do spin all the way around, you'll feel it in the left IT band. Wherever you are, take another big full breath here. Get deep into those hips.
Good. Let's take our hands down to the earth. Heel toe your right foot to the center of your mat. Shift your hips back, flex your right foot for Ardha Hanumanasana half splits. Square those hips out, flex your right foot. Take an inhale, lengthen your heart forward. And as you exhale, gently begin to fold a little bit deeper towards that right leg. Relax your head. Shoulders roll back. Press your hips back evenly. Big breath in. And big breath out. One more inhale in. And exhale out. Now as you inhale, shift forward into your low lunge. Heel toe your right foot over to meet your left wrist. Let your right knee softly lower down to meet your right wrist. Extend your left leg straight back as you square your hips out. Take your hands by your sides, take an inhale in. And as you exhale, maybe melt down into your Pigeon Pose. So you can come down onto your forearms. Maybe lay all the way down, or maybe your hands are by your sides. Just make sure that right heel is close towards your left hip and your hips are square towards the earth. Roll your shoulders back, let your heart melt. If you feel that you're holding on anywhere, just begin to let it go. So it might be something simple like you're clenching your hands. Just let them relax. Or maybe you're even just clenching your toes. Maybe uncurl them, stretch them out, wiggle them behind you, let them go. Deep breath in and out through the nose. Really concentrate on that breath traveling to the belly. One more inhale. And exhale, release. Good, now let's inhale, walk those hands back up. Tuck your back toes. Send your right leg all the way up to the sky. Three-legged dog. You can even open your knee out. Take some big hip circles if that feels good. And lower your right foot down to meet the left. Inhale, left leg to the sky. Bend your left knee, stack open. Let's take that one big hip circle, hug it in. Open out and around. Left knee towards your chest. Place your left foot to the top of your mat. Spin your back heel down. Inhale, windmill open, warrior two. Good. So back heel is grounded down. Bend deep into your front knee. 90-degree bend through that front leg. Left palm to the sky. Inhale, reach up and back. Reverse your warrior. Exhale, come back through center. Inhale, reach forward as you lengthen your left leg. Press your hips back. Triangle pose, Trikonasana. Stack your hips and stack your shoulders. Good, so that left hand can be on the earth, on the chin, or even up on the quad. Wherever you go that keeps your spine long, that's the most important part. Stack those shoulders, big breath in. And big breath out. On your next exhale, swoop that right hand down. Bend your left knee, spin onto the back toes. Lower your right knee. Shift your hips back and heel toe your left foot over to the left. And then begin to take your left knee so it presses out. So that left foot is on the outer edge of your left side of your mat. Take your hands right underneath your shoulders. Sink your hips down towards the earth. You want to make sure that ankle is right underneath the knee. So you can stay right here with your hands underneath your shoulders. If you want to go a little bit deeper, you can always come down onto your forearms. Or like we did on the other side, if you did so as well, take your left hand to the inside of your left knee. Press that left knee away as you roll your left shoulder back. Press your right hip down. So you can stay right here as well. Just feel that big opening through the hip. If you want to go even deeper into that right side IT band, you kind of spin your right hip over. So you kind of twist to the left. Take your right toes over to the left as well. And just kind of press your hips down towards the earth. So you'll feel it through the side waist a little bit more. Just notice how you feel, what feels right through your hips. And just work into letting those hips sink in towards the earth as the heart opens up. And it's okay if you're on the outer blade of that left foot as well. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Let's take our hands down to the mat, or crawl yourself up if you're not already. Heel toe your foot to the center of the mat. Shift your hips back, flex your left foot. Square off through those hips. Take an inhale, lengthen your heart forward, create length through the spine. And then maybe as you exhale, you crawl a little bit deeper in towards that left leg. Relax your head and neck. Hips are evenly pressing back. Deep breath in. And deep breath out. Flex through that left foot. One more breath. Nice. Now as you inhale, let's shift forward to a low lunge. Heel toe your left foot over to meet your right wrist. Lower your left knee down towards your left wrist. Set up for Pigeon Pose. So your right leg will extend back behind you while your left heel comes close towards your right hip. Hands by your sides, take a breath in, shoulders back. As you exhale, maybe you crawl down onto your forearms. Maybe stay up on your hands. Maybe you even come down onto your belly. Wherever you are, make sure that right hip is pressing down so you're really opening up through that left side, low back, piriformis, glute, into the IT band. And remember in pigeon, sometimes the knees don't like pigeon too much. You can always come onto your back for thread the needle. And as always an option, listen to your body. Stay connected with your breath here. I find that Pigeon Pose is a great time to return back to the intention that you may or may not have made at the beginning of class. Hopefully you did. If not, maybe you have one now. Bring the focus back here, back to the present moment. Maybe that means you have to close your eyes and close out that distraction. Maybe you're listening to the sound of your breath. Letting every exhale let go a little bit more towards that left hip. Let the body release a little bit more. One more breath left here. Nice. Now as you inhale, crawl those hands back up. Take your time. Tuck your back toes. Send your left leg all the way up to the sky through three-legged dog and just open that left knee out. Take some big circles if that feels good. We'll all meet in downward facing dog. Full breath in and full breath out. Bend your knees. Begin to lower your knees down towards the mat. And cross your ankles and just shift your hips back. Extend your legs out long in front of you. Good. So ground down through your sits bones. Sit up tall. Inhale, reach your arms up towards the sky. Now as you exhale, begin to hinge forward. Hover over your thighs. Take your right hand to the outer blade of your right foot. Your left hand to your left hip. And begin to lift your right heel up, bend your right knee, and pull back like a bow and arrow. So we've actually been in a really similar pose to this when we were in our lizard pose, but this time we're seated. And it'll allow us to pull that right knee back, and then also reach forward with your left hand. Maybe you're just extending forward. Maybe you grab that left big toe. Maybe the shin. Maybe it's just an energetic reach as you pull back. This reach is important because you're allowing yourself to stretch through the low back as well as the front of the psoas. So that connection from the front to the back, where the psoas is both in the front hip and in the low back. So when you pull back,
You'll feel it in your hip. When you reach forward, you'll start to feel it in that low back, but do it to your degree. Deep breath, lift through your heart. Nice, and let's slowly take that right foot back, switch sides. So left hand grabs a hold of the left foot, and then pull straight back, right hand to right hip. So it's like that nice bow and arrow. Pull back, lift through your heart. So you could stay right here as you lift up through your sternum, reach and pull back through that left knee, or begin to take your right hand, reach it forward, maybe all the way forward. I'm a bit sore and stiff today, so this is probably too much because my shoulder is coming forward too much. So I'm just going to reach right here. So my shoulders stay back, but I'm still extending forward. I'll feel it in my left side low back as well as the front of the hip. So keep pulling back as you reach slightly forward, but keep the chest lifted. 2 more breaths. Stay with it. Nice job. Nice, and let's slowly release that left foot down. So now we're going to take our right foot to the inner left thigh. Bend your right knee, turn towards those left toes. Take an inhale, reach your arms high to the sky. Now as you exhale, hinge forward, reach towards that left foot. Keep your shoulders square, so you want to drop your right shoulder down, relax your head and neck, press your hips down towards the mat. Feel your hips press down so that you'll really feel that stretch through that right side, low back, the lower lumbar spine. Deep breath here. Good, inhale, rise up. Switch sides, so use your core and just take that left foot to the inside of your right foot. Square yourself off towards your right toes. Take an inhale, reach those arms high. And an exhale, hinge forward, hover over that right leg, square your shoulders out. So oftentimes we lift that left shoulder high. You want to square them out so that you really feel that lower lumbar lengthen out. Big breath, reach your heart towards your toes, even out those shoulders, and come all the way down. Or to your degree. Soften that right knee if you need. Deep breath in. And deep breath out. You should feel this nice decompression through the low back, length through the right hamstring, maybe even all the way up through the spine to the neck. Deep breath, reach through your heart towards your toes, square those shoulders out. Good, inhale, rise up. Take your hands behind, and let's take the soles of the feet together, knees apart. We'll come into butterfly pose again. Now it's at the end of class. So take your hands around your feet, shoulders down and away, lift through your heart. And as you exhale, hinge forward, let your elbows press your knees away. Bow in, heart towards your toes. Notice, does this butterfly pose feel any different from the beginning of class? Or are the hips still fighting? And if so, breathe into those hips. Deep inhale in. And exhale, imagine that nice melting sensation. One more big breath. And exhale, release. Okay. Rise up with your inhale. Take your hands behind you. Scoot your heels forward and hips forward so you come to the top of your mat. Reach your arms forward as you roll down onto your back, vertebrae by vertebrae. Take your time as much as you can. And just lay in a reclined butterfly pose. Take a big breath in through the nose. We're going to exhale out the mouth. Let it go. Begin to close your knees together like a book. Hug your knee one at a time towards your chest. And then reach for the outer blades of your feet for happy baby pose. Knees hug around your rib cage, shoulders stay down on the earth. Rock side to side if this feels good to massage the low back. You even have an option to take your feet together, knees apart, in kind of a Reclined bound butterfly pose, if this feels good through the hips. Either option, you're releasing the low back. Deep breath here. And deep breath out. Now extend both legs high to the sky. Hug your right knee towards your chest. Extend your left leg forward, down on the earth. Take a big hug of that right knee towards your heart. So feel the length created through the lower back as you hug your right knee towards your chest. Now as you exhale, take that right knee over to the left. Right arm out to the right. Take a nice twist through the spine. Keep those shoulders down on the earth. Gaze to the right. Decompress. It's more important to have those shoulders down on the mat than that right knee on the earth. Deep breath. Inhale, make your way softly back through center. Hug both knees towards your chest, give them a hug. Extend your right leg to the sky and then right leg down to the earth. Hug your left knee towards your chest and give yourself that big squeeze here first. So feel the decompression through the lower spine, even into the tailbone. Deep inhale in. And exhale, twist to the left. Left knee over to the right. Left arm out to the left. Keep your shoulders on the earth. Twist that opposite side so you're decompressing through the low back. Shoulders stay grounded. Let your inhale breaths expand through the low back as you exhale. Nice release. Good. Inhale, back through center. Let's give ourselves one big final squeeze. Forehead can come up towards your knees. Wrap your forearms around your shins. Take a big breath in. Squeeze it all in. And as you exhale, just let it all go. Let your toes drop out. Let your palms face up by your sides. Close your eyes. And allow yourself to melt in towards your mat. Let go of all control. As always, feel free to stay as long as you need or would like in your Savasana. If you do need to move about with your day, just begin to notice your inhale breath creating a rise and fall of your belly. Notice movement of the fingers and toes as the limbs begin to awaken. And just begin to take your time. Maybe roll off to one side or the other. Begin to come up into an easy seated position in your own time, in your own way. Keep your eyes closed.
Bring your hands towards heart center. Take a moment here to express gratitude and honor the light that dwells within each and every one of us. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining in on my live stream yoga class today. If you have any requests or anything that you would like to say at all, you can go ahead and DM me at Katie Marie Yoga on Instagram, or even here in the comments. Let me know what you liked. Remember, always hit that subscribe button or hit that little bell to get alerts when I go live if you want to see more of these classes. Again, thank you so much, and I'll see you next time.